What's up, everybody? So, I guess today we're gonna be talking about overcoming obstacles in adversity. So, it's a few things that I went through personally in my life.
Yeah, in your life and in relationships.
The first thing I say, the biggest obstacle that I faced, the first biggest obstacle that I faced probably was losing my dad. Back in 2016, I had just graduated high school or whatever. And my dad was like my best friend. He used to come to all my games. He was like my biggest supporter. You know, I learned a lot from him. He taught me everything I know. So when I lost him after I graduated high school, it just it took a lot out of me, you know, to keep going. I wanted to, just give up on life and not, do anything when it happened. And I realized that, he wouldn't want that. He would want me to keep going and keep pushing, follow my dreams and keep working towards my goals and make something out of my life. So that's what I did. I kept playing basketball, went to college, had a lot of Division I scholarships, played at ULM, and got a degree. I got 2 degrees, and kept going on about my life. And also too, in college, I got injured for the first time in my life as well, and that was a big obstacle that I had to face. I never really had a major injury. Since I started playing basketball, I tore my meniscus, and I had 3 surgeries on the same knee, and it was real depressing because after the first surgery, it ended up getting infected, and I had to have another surgery, and after the second, I had to have another one. So it was real depressing part of, and sad part of my life because, for one, when it happened, I couldn't jump like how I used to jump, and also too, I sat out a lot, almost the whole season of my junior year. So that was something new for me. But I had to keep going to school, getting my work done, and also rehabbing and getting through that to try to build up strength to get back how I used to be. So that was another thing I had to go through in life. But moral of the story, no matter what you're going through, keep pushing and find a way and pray. God will make a way for you.
That's a really good message. And then around the time when all that happened though, when yours dad passed away, I didn't know him at that point. I didn't meet him until a year later.
You met me.
I met you December 2017.
A year or two, almost 2. I think about 2 years after that.
Because we met December 2017.
Yeah, a year.
And we talked about that. That was one of the things. The first time Yori and I met in person, we literally just talked for hours, over 5 hours straight, literally just talking about everything, the things that I feel we just really opened up to one another and just talked about things. And that's just how we really connected when we initially met as well.
And another thing too, and I don't want to be negative, but when it happened, I had a lot of family that I rarely saw anyway, but when they came to the funeral, they was telling me, I'll be there for you, need anything, we'll always be here, you reach out, this, that, and third. It never happened. Nobody ever checked up on me, reached out, anything. It was just there for the moment. And, that was tough too, but like I said, I had to keep pushing either way it go. All I had was me and my mom at the time, and that was enough. But yeah, keep going.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good message that Yori told. So it's in life, you're gonna go through things, you're gonna deal with things that things that are unexpected. Because Yori losing his dad, that was something that would Yori losing his, like, that was something unexpected. That wasn't something that he was like anticipating, or, you know, it's not like his dad was sick. It's just something that happened. But even in the midst of that, in the midst of him going through that, he chose, like, he knew, like, his dad would want more for him. His dad would want him to make the best out of his life. So he kept pushing on and he kept doing that. And that's one of the things too that, like, that's one of the things too that, like, when I met Yori, like, that's one of the things that I admired about him, because even though everything that he had been through, he still pushed on, he still did what he had to do, he still was, like, positive. You know, like, a lot of people, you know, sometimes that things happen in life and it's like, for them, like, that's it. They see there's no purpose. But as long as you have breath in your lungs, there's always purpose. God is keeping you here for a reason. So you always have to work through whatever comes your way. Like, God didn't promise, like, everything is always going to be perfect. Everything's going to be peaches and creams. He will give us the strength to get through whatever we go through. And that's why it's important, too, that you also have that relationship with God and that you could lean on him and trust you. Because, like you were saying, like, there were some people saying that they would, you know, be there. They ended up not being there. Like, you know, in the long run. And, you know, sometimes as people, we say things and then we end up not doing what we said we were gonna do, as far as, like, when someone loses someone. But it's like, with God, like, he is a friend that will never leave you nor forsake you. So it's like, when you have him on your side, you're always gonna win, because he's always there for you. He's a friend that you could call on at any time of the hour. Like, if you can't go to anyone else, you can always go to God. Like, if I have something going on, if I can't go to Yuri at that moment, or if he can't go to me at that moment, take it to God. And always, and anything that you go through, if there's anything that you're struggling with, take it to God first. Let him be the one that you seek in anything and everything, because at the end of the day, he's the one that has control over all things, and he knows your life, and he knows you better than you know yourself. Like, you just have to be able to trust in God and know that he has more for you. Just like Proverbs 3:5-6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and all your ways. Acknowledge him and he will make your path straight. So do not lean on your own understanding, because we have to lean on God, because he is everything. Like, he's the beginning and the end, Alpha and Omega, and he's always just going to, you know, work on your behalf and be there for you. And then just as far as just like overcoming adversity and like relationships too, though, same thing. Lean on God, trust him, pray. Like, pray separately, pray together, right? Like, always keep God in the midst of all things. And then what's one thing I always say about, like, when you are dealing with, like, just problems in your relationship, marriage, like, what's the, like, you know, don't tell people your business.
Oh yeah,
You don't have to tell everybody everything that goes on in your relationship every time there's a problem, because it's like, what may be a small problem to you, someone else may blow it out of proportion. And then it's like, you're going to be more forgiving of your partner than anyone else is. And then it's just like, when you telling everybody everything that's going on, you have all these different people in your ears, and somebody saying this and somebody saying that. But it's like, what is in your head? What are you hearing? Are you letting, you know, you got to be able to hear God too. What is God telling you? Not what X, Y, and Z and all the other people telling you, you know? And that can cause even more tension in a relationship too, when you just telling everybody different stuff and you're saying, well, somebody such and such said this, or you're not saying like they said this, but you're just saying like, oh, well, they said this and they said that. And that's just like, it just leads to more confusion and stuff that you don't want to like go about.
And some friends, I ain't gonna say all friends, but like a lot of times, like when people tell their friends business, some friends be negative all the time, like, oh girl, I would have left him if he did that to me, this and that, or you putting up with that, and like just saying stuff like that versus telling you positive stuff to try to fix it and work through it. They'll do some friends that do stuff like that.
Yeah.
And want to see you single just because they single or whatever.
Right, you never know, y'all, because sometimes people too could be like the closest person to you, or somebody who you would never think they have like ill intentions of you. Like, people can be envious of you and you don't even know. Like, they could be secretly like preying on your downfall, and that's why it's important too, just not disclosing every little thing, like every little plan. Like, everyone doesn't need to know what you got going on, what's in the works. Like, keep that between you and your partner. If you do have like one close friend, or you want to tell like a parent, or someone like that, that's fine. But multiple people don't need to know your business. It's just, you don't. And then at the end of the day, it's like, you don't know who they telling, even though that may be like, oh well, I had a, because at the end of the day, we're all humans, and some people just blabber, absent-mindedly, and they're like, oh, oops, I didn't mean to say that, So it's just like, just don't even, leave room for that to even happen. And then, what's something else? I'm trying to think.
Overcome adversity and obstacles.
Yeah, overcoming adversity and like obstacles in life, relationships.
Relationships ain't gonna always be peaches and cream, like how some people think like they see nothing but, when people show their life on social media, for example, it look like it's just all 100% just good all the time. I mean, it's most relationships, you're gonna have disagreements and stuff like that. It ain't gonna always be perfect. You're gonna go through things in relationships, but when you do go through things in relationships and in marriage, you gotta work it out and come to a conclusion and work through it. You just can't give up or want to leave or whatever whenever you have disagreements and don't agree on something. You gotta work through it. And that's one thing I had to learn too. Being in a marriage, everything isn't gonna always be perfect.
Yeah, everything's not gonna always be smooth sailing. Cause one thing I also learned too is just like certain issues, like once you are, and then with Yori and us being like long distance, like the things that we dealt with when we were dating are different than the things that we deal with now being married. Like everything's like on a whole, like different level. Cause now it's like, and then especially too, like once you have kids, so it's like, it's just like navigating different things. And then as you're together longer, like you also have to, we're both growing, we're both changing. Neither one of us are the same person that we were when we first started dating. So it's like, just like adapting to like your partner, and then just life as life changes itself. And I feel like, you can't just give up the towel and like, just especially in marriage. I mean, relationships too, because a relationship should be practiced for your marriage if that's what you intend to do. If you and your partner want to get married, but it's like I've been saying this a lot too, and it's like the real test isn't in getting married. The real test isn't staying married. Anybody can go and get married. Like anybody, like they can jump right now, go to the justice of the peace. That's cool and that's nice, and it's a blessing, and it's a covenant between you and your partner and God. But it's like the real test is, can you stay married? Like that's the goal. The goal is to stay married. Whatever you and your partner go through, like you have to endure all those things together, because when things are going good, anybody can stick around. Like, of course, like you happy, that's good. Like, and a lot of people, I feel like in marriage, when they get married, they're thinking about, it's for rich or for poor, in sickness and in health, for better or for worse. You know what I'm saying? Like they're looking at the upside of things, but they're not thinking of like the downside of things too. It's just like, when things are going rough, can you stick around? When your partner's going through it, can you stick around?
And I didn't realize too, like people getting divorced is real common. Like even on the movie, like a show we just started watching, for example, like the couple, the main couple that's on ex-couple, they divorced, and it's like, it made me think, like, you see, like, I guarantee if you research, like, the percentage of people who
the divorce rate is extremely high.
It's probably real high.
It is.
And that goes back to what she was saying, like, you gotta stick through it no matter what your partner's going through. it's easy, like she said, it's easy to stay. Everything going good, but when things go downhill, are you still gonna be there? Are you gonna hold it down for your partner?
Yep, and that's what marriage is. Literally sticking with that person through the good and the bad, but mainly like through the bad. And I'm not talking about like nothing crazy. Like we did premarital counseling, and like the only thing we discussed with our pastor, like the only thing that gives grounds for divorce is infidelity, or like if you're in an abusive relationship. Other than that, everything else you got to work through that together, and that's just that. Like. And when it comes to me, like I'm very serious about like my marriage. I'm very serious about my relationship with God. So it's like those are the two things, you know, and of course my child, you know, but I'm talking about this right now. So that's like important to me. That's the things that I'm going to work on, because that comes before anything else. My relationship. And he always drinking my stuff. That's a problem too. But anyways, my relationship with God comes first, then my marriage, then, you know, it's just like that, because that's how God designed for it to be. Yeah, y'all. So Yori and I, we've been together. We've been knowing each other now. December makes what, 7 years of knowing each other, and then dating 7 years in January. So like, you know, and now we've been married going towards year 4. Thank you, God. So it's like we're not pros at anything. Like we're continuously learning each day, don't you think? Like I feel like we learn something new every day. Like it's an ongoing journey, honestly. And you're always learning, you're always growing, always evolving. And it's just like just navigating through life together and just getting through things, you know. And pray. Read your Bible, and you'll get through it. Anything else you want to say that they need to do? Just pray.
Just pray.
Pray, keep God in it, and stick together. Always work together. And yeah. Lean on God and lean on your partner, and you know, or whoever that special person may be in your life that you go to. And whatever obstacles may come your way, whatever life throws at you, you will get through it. Remember, you are here for a reason, as long as you have breath in your body. And if you haven't given your life to God, you know, try to make that decision, and you know, it'll change. When you truly give your life to God, you'll see the difference that it makes. So that's what I leave with y'all today, and wishing y'all all the best and nothing but love, happiness, joy, prosperity, and a beautiful life. Yo, you would just be like, yo, I be going on and on. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to
like, comment, and subscribe.